I turned around to see what sort of whacked-out zombie, weirdo cultist, or some combination of the two was coming toward me. Much to my surprise, I saw a large flannel-wearing man with a black beard, furry hat, and blue jeans hacking away at a horde of colorful costumed undead with a glowing silver axe. He had a vague resemblance to the guy on the paper towels, and it took me a second to realize who he was. "The backwoodsman," Cloak explained, sounding way too enthusiastic. "The fearless friend of the forests, the rural renegade, commander of Canada's clearest climate commandos." "Please tell me that last one isn't a real thing," I said, appalled. "They're an ecology-themed group," Cloak said. "Nice bunch, if a bit preachy." "Are you part of his fan club or something?" "He's one of the oldest continuously active heroes around, Gary. I admit to having a fondness for the fellow. He's just so sunny." I knew who the backwoodsman was. Ironically, I knew him for his association with various pro-supers groups like the Tomorrow Society, the Genetics, and the Transhumans. One of the increasingly common-born supers, he'd hit the proverbial superpowered lottery with immortality, superstrength, and invulnerability. In the 80s, a group of renegade scientists working for Phantom had tried to extract his powers and ended up grafting a cybernetic axe onto his arm. It appeared whenever he wanted it to and disappeared otherwise. I didn't think he needed my help. That was right before one of the zombies, a fresh-looking thing dressed in a pink dress with a double M on the chest area, hit him across the face and sent him flying 30 yards back in the air. I had to turn in substantial to avoid getting hit with his 300 pounds of muscle frame. "Okay," I said, looking between the two figures. "That was unexpected." "The pink one is Mary Martian," Cloak said, sounding horrified. "A superheroine from the 60s who retired here in Falcon Crest." The pink-wearing zombie hissed at us, half of its jaw hanging down, and then charged along with the ones beside her. They were all dressed like superheroes, but ones I didn't recognize, which was a fairly rare occurrence. Cloak obviously did recognize them. "The heroes of today, all murdered. The Brotherhood of Infamy will pay for this." "The Brotherhood's the generic doomsday cult you used to hang with before you became a superhero, right? The one that built this city to be a giant summoning circle for evil?" "Yes." "Just checking." I remembered the heroes of today now that Cloak mentioned them. They'd been 50s to 60s Falcon Crest City do-gooders without much in the way of powers. Mary Martian had been the exception, possessing the standard flying brick power set from her Venusian heritage. She wasn't flying right now, though, and I wondered if she'd forgotten she could with all the brain rot having set in. Either way, it didn't matter much, because I set the entirety of the group on fire with my mind. The zombies hissed and screamed as the group stopped in its tracks and began a brilliant bonfire. The Reaper's cloaks were designed to aid the wearers in serving as psychopumps for the souls of the restless dead. As such, the magic seemed particularly effective against the various tin hat, colored jumpsuit, and long cape crowd ahead of me. They'd been heroes in life, so watching them go up like dried paper was oddly comforting. They no longer would have their bodies defiled to harm the innocent. "Requiescat in pace," I said, seeing only one single corpse remain in the glowing orange and yellow flames. "Hiss!" Mary Martian said, turning to growl at me. "Ah, crap," I said, watching the now flaming superpowered monster crouch down and fly at me with the speed of a car. So much for that theory. I tried to shift to insubstantiality, but realized I wasn't going to be able to do it in time. As such, I was hit square in the chest and sent spiraling on the ground. If not for the Reaper's cloak giving me very, very limited invulnerability, I would have had my organs liquefied. Instead, I just felt like I'd had the crap kicked out of me. Mary Martian then grabbed me by the front of my costume, the flames on her wrist licking my neck before pulling back her fist to smash my face in. That was when an axe buried itself in her head. The superheroine fell to her knees, then over. Destroyed. "Rest in peace indeed, eh?" the backwoodsman said, standing above me. "Oh, hey, Merciless, what you doing here?" The backwoodsman was a stunningly handsome example of masculinity in that slightly outdated way, with muscles, a hairy chest visible from his slightly unbuttoned shirt, and the broad smile on his face. Hey?" I said, shaking my head and climbing to my feet. I was still a bit winded from Mary Martian's attack. "You know who I am?" "Oh, yeah," the backwoodsman said. "I was there when you escaped from the Society of Superheroes prison on the moon. I heard all about those lives you saved during the riot." I grimaced. That was going to kill my rep. "Yeah, well, I only just got back. Do you mind filling me in on some details as to what the hell's been going on?" The backwoodsman checked his watch. "Okie dokie. Just know I can't spare too much time. There's a lot of zombies ootin' aboot." I stared at him. Canada is literally just across Falcon Crest Lake. Half our population is Canadian. They do not talk like that. The backwoodsman dropped the accent and spoke with a deeper, more gravelly accent. "Hey, I just do it to fuck with people. Be glad I hadn't gotten to randomly inserting maple syrup and hockey into the conversation. How can I help?"